It's been dubbed the fight of the century. We now have less than 10 hours to go before Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao take to the ring in what is gearing up to be the most expensive match in boxing history. Who's your money on, Pac-Man or Money Man? We will have the analysis for you here on Matchpoint. Hello and welcome to Matchpoint here on CCTV Africa, where the focus is all things sport from the continent and beyond. I'm Mahia Mutua, also coming up in this edition. Promoting professionalism, FIFA conducts more training for referees in Somalia to boost football rules knowledge of the officials. And we take you to Mauritius, showcasing one of the most popular sports there, horse racing. Well, as you know, unless you've been living under a rock, in a few hours' time, the two best boxers on the planet step into the ring for the fight of their lives. Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao face off in what's being billed as the fight of the century. CCTV's Mei Lee is in Las Vegas and kicks off our show with a preview of the big fight.
Las Vegas is the center of the universe this weekend for boxing fans. The fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao has been years in the making, so it's hard to believe that it's only one day away. And just when you thought you've heard it all when it comes to the money that's going to be generated by this fight, a new eye-popping figure comes out. So it's no wonder that a fight that hasn't even happened yet is already going down in the history books. "5 years in the making. The fight of the century is nearly here. Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, Saturday night at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
Floyd will be a tactician and show him he's a real scientist to the game of boxing.
Oh, you wear this?
Yeah, Pancho, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Look at that.
A lot of people you can ask there, about 70% go for Pacquiao.
The build-up to the historic fight has been unprecedented, beginning with the first ever red carpet boxing event to announce the fight. Over 700 media from around the world showed up in Los Angeles. Then came the crush of media day at training camps.
I just feel that we must win this fight, and it's going to be the biggest fight of our life.
And in Las Vegas this week, one final press conference.
The biggest fight in boxing history, and I'm a part of it, so that's a great thing, you know.
It's going to be a good fight, and there's a lot of a question in your minds that only God can answer us on Saturday.
Stoking interest in the fight has boosted the financial stakes. Just for fighting, Mayweather will be at least $120 million richer, and Pacquiao $80 million plus. And then there are the ticket sales to the fight and pay-per-view buys on HBO and Showtime.
This will shatter every record that has ever been out there.
It's estimated there'll be over 3 million, perhaps up to 4 million pay-per-view buys on May 2nd, which at $100 for high definition, the highest ever for a boxing match, could total nearly $400 million. As for tickets to the fight, they sold out in less than 60 seconds to bring in about $70 million. There are still tickets on the secondary market, but it'll cost you. A floor seat is going for as high as $300,000. So when all is said and done here, there'll be too many zeros to count. Mei Lee, CCTV, Las Vegas.
Well, whichever way you look at it, this fight has certainly grabbed the attention of sports fans and not non-sports fans alike, turning the welterweight championship contest into a must-see or must-be-seen-at event. And despite the fact that neither fighter has thrown a punch or even entered the ring, the city of Las Vegas and the sport of boxing have already scored a big knockout. While boxing in general will benefit from this fight's mega drawing power for future bouts, the immediate financial gain is already evident, with record interest in the fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena that has translated into record numbers for a boxing match. The undefeated Mayweather is guaranteed $120 million to $118 million in what could become the richest mega fight of all time. Pacquiao is a 2-1 underdog for a fight that will earn him now up to $120 million.
I mean, to be realistic, Mayweather and Pacquiao, 138, 136, their lifespan in the sport will be relatively short. We have to, recognize that. But in the wing, they're tremendously talented young people, young fighters that are going to be marquee, that people are going to really fall in love with.
We're already at the point of this being the third biggest fight that we've ever booked here at the MGM Grand, and I would imagine in another 12 hours or so, we'll be surpassing the biggest fight that we ever booked, which was Mayweather-Canelo, and it's not even to the weekend yet. So. Due to this fight, it's probably larger than what we've ever done to any boxing larger than what we've ever done to any boxing match in the state of Nevada.
Right, now let's get a professional's opinion on this fight and what it means on this fight and what it means. More insight into this is to give us more insight into this boxing promoter and owner of Time Bomb Promotions here in Kenya. Time Promotions. Thank you for joining us. This bout, thank you for joining us. This bout, the biggest fight since the Rumble in the biggest fight since the Rumble in decades ago. What makes it such a big event and why did it take so long to set up? And why did it take so long to set up?
Thank you for having me. This fight, this fight, there's a lot of things that are involved. There's a lot of things that are since 2009. As you remember, since 2009, there's an issue with the promoter. There's an issue with the promoter. Mayweather was this guy, formerly Mayweather was this guy, and he left him. So since then, they've been on different paths. So since then, they've been on different different promoters and different networks. I remember 3 days ago, Mayweather said he had to wait. 3 days ago, Mayweather had to wait for 5 years to get whatever. He had to wait for 5 years to get whatever value he thought was reportedly $200 million. By then I remember they offered $200 million. By then I remember they offered it. He turned it down. $50 million. Now the other day he said this is the right price. Now the other day he said this is the right price. For him to go to the ring with Pacman. And the reason why it took long is there's a little bit of politics in boxing. Much as there's a little bit of politics in boxing, much as it's sports, could not come to terms of it. So they could not come to terms. Network and rival maybe network is there. Rival promoters is there. But I'm glad now the fight is there. This is what boxing needed. But I'm glad now the fight is there. This is what boxing needed. For the sport of boxing. It's good for the sport of boxing. Back on the image. At least it has put us back on the image. In the world, sport of the world, in the world, sport of boxing is there. And you're for real. That boxing is there.
Well, indeed, you're not the only one who's glad that this fight is going ahead. We've glad that this fight is going ahead. Popularity surrounding plenty of popularity surrounding set to take place in a few hours' time. But what exactly, Atomic, does this bout mean in terms of the future of boxing as a sport? In terms of the future of boxing as a sport?
It has really given us a new lease of life. If you look, there was a time when Tyson went. There was a time when Tyson went. People say this guy Mayweather has come a long way. This guy Mayweather has come a long way. He's only 38 years old. That he's only 38 years old. 3 times every single day. 3 times after weighing every single day. Even after weighing yesterday, twice. I understand it. He went to the gym twice. Now he's resting. Before now, it has helped us in the sense that. It has helped us in the sense that sports like I remember MMA, sports like MMA, UFC, they've come, out of boxing. They've come, with exercise. Their what do you call it? Will or how you can show where you can measure your strength is just through boxing and skills. Minus that is maybe wrestling, but wrestling there's a level they reach. Boxing is the sport. They try to build MMA. They try to talk about UFC. Now here we are. At least in terms of revenue generation, it has helped us. At least now we can talk. I'm very, very happy. This is what this is what boxing needed. This is what the world needed. I'm glad the fight is on.
Now, Atomic, obviously boxing as a sport is quite lucrative. We're talking about these guys earning over $100 million each. But in places such as Kenya here, the sport does suffer. Why would you say so?
I remember there was a time I really pumped some money, like close to 12 million. My part of it, majority was, huge sum was my own money, It reached a point that I lost support, especially from the government. The other day we tried to, when we did elections late last year, we involved Honorable Sakaja, who is now our patron, and promised to help us find a way that the government, through CDF, can enter boxing. Because believe me, Kenya, we are the first African country to get an Olympic gold. We have an immense talent. We have very, very good boxers down here. But as I told you, the government has given us their back, but we are pushing. And we believe, I have contact with someone like Mayweather. We believe very soon we'll be back. Boxers are here, we'll be back. Very soon we'll be back, and the government will get notice of us. They'll help us, I trust so.
Right, Atomic, thank you very much for that. We're out of time, but I'll just ask you one-word answer. Who's your money on, Pac-Man or Mayweather?
I've put everything on Mayweather, man. He's my guy.
All right.
He's smart, yeah.
Thank you very much for that. We will see in a few hours' time. That was Atomic Bunde, boxing promoter and owner of Time Bomb Promotions here in Kenya. Well, as the big fight draws ever closer, we asked boxing fans across the continent what they had to say about the match and who they thought would come out on top.
It's going to be a dull fight, I would think, because everybody wants to keep his record intact. Of course, Mayweather wants to keep his unbeaten run on, and Manny Pacquiao wants to win. So it's going to be really dull, cautious, but I think for Pacquiao to win the fight, he has to attack, but he has to attack with caution, because Mayweather will try to pick out the small mistakes to take out Pacquiao.
I'm rooting for Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao, the guy from the Philippines. That's my man. He's a humble guy. I like him because he's not extravagant as Floyd. Floyd is all over flossing about his wealth, that he's unbeaten in 47 bouts. But Man is just there. He's cool, he's relaxed. His style of boxing is very unique. He's a fast boxer. That's what I like about him. And above all, like I said before, he's a humble guy. And that's really what you look for in a sportsman.
It's going to be a world-class fight, really. Floyd Mayweather is a great fighter, so the world should expect the best of fight today, really. Pacquiao on his own, the entire Filipinos and the entire rest of the part of the world are looking up to him to be a world champion, but it's going to be a great fight indeed.
The match will be very, very tough, and Mayweather said he will go for attack first, and Pacquiao said he will fight like a lion. And you can imagine we are lion and something that is bigger than lion fighting. And I believe, in my own thinking, Mayweather will eventually win the match. And I believe in Mayweather.
Well, it's a very crucial match. I know it's going to be a very long match. Pacquiao is a good fighter, right? But I know Mayweather will win. I will give it to Mayweather. I will give it to Mayweather.
Looking at the antecedents of Pacquiao too, I think it's going to stretch a little bit, but at the end of the day, Mayweather man is going to carry the day.
He fought with Pacquiao and he fought with Mayweather, Oscar. He fought with both those guys, but I think the beating that Oscar got was not from Mayweather. It was from Pacquiao. Pacquiao, you beat him fair and square. He hit him hard. He couldn't come back in the 8th round. He couldn't come back. So it shows you that the Pacquiao is going to give Mayweather a hard time, Baba. He's not going to just win like he won all the other fights. He's undefeated. He could be defeated now.
That mega fight definitely Manny Pacquiao on points. You can see what Oscar won against Mayweather, but they gave it to Pacquiao, to Mayweather. So definitely you'll find that, from my prediction, Pacquiao on points.
Yeah, Pacquiao is going to win because he's strong and active. And he's strong. I trust him. He's going to make it. Sure.
No, I think Mayweather will win because he's 14-0, so I think, he can take it.
I believe that Mayweather has the ability. I mean, his confidence is like over the top. So I pretty think he's gonna win.
Yeah, Mayweather gonna beat Pacquiao today. Gonna win today.
Well, there you have it, fans from South Africa, Nigeria, among those giving their opinions about the big fight coming up. Now, Kenyan boxing fans will be among those tuning in to watch the world's most storied sporting event of the weekend. But even as they cheer on Pacquiao or Mayweather, the sport hasn't given fans anything to cheer about locally. This week, a documentary depicting the state of boxing in Kenya was released. The film, titled The Last Fight, tells of the struggles boxers in the country face in their quest for international recognition. It follows boxers from two popular gyms in the country in the 70s and 80s. Kenya was a regional powerhouse in the sport, even producing Africa's sole Olympic gold medalist in 1988. But today, poor management and lack of sponsors has left many boxers unable to fulfill their dreams of making it in the professional arena. The documentary hopes that by bringing some of these challenges to light, then the government will take action and save the sport. Well, it's time now for us to take a quick break. You're watching Match Point, still to come. Promoting professionalism, FIFA conducts more training for referees in Somalia to boost football rules knowledge to the officials. Welcome back. Now, for the second time, football governing body FIFA has sent football instructors to Somalia. This time, the special instructors are training local referees. Somali football has developed over the last 2 years, and officials say the FIFA Members Association courses will be an annual fixture.
Football in Somalia has received a boost. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, is holding a training course in Mogadishu for the country's referees. The 3-day session is designed to train 28 local officials on how to preside over soccer matches, not only as neutral officials but also enforce the rules of the sport.
They should give him some clips of matches, clips, situations for referee's decision, whether foul, handball, simulation, penalty, foul, no foul.
FIFA resumed its support here 2 years ago. One of the major results of FIFA's re-engagement is the look of this stadium. The Koni Stadium now has an artificial turf. Both coaches and players say this has had a major impact on training. The local referees say the course is designed to update them on all new FIFA rules and the laws of the beautiful game.
Football is dynamic, it keeps changing. So here, the trainers will bring us up to speed with all the new additions. How the law of the game was in 2012 and is different from how it is today. The training therefore is necessary. We are doing both class and field training.
FIFA had also provided courses for local coaches before to identify and promote the next Somali football stars. The course in grassroots coaching gave the local tacticians insights on how to work with younger players. The recovery of football in Somalia continues to gather pace. Resilience is one of the key factors. The local league is on, the national team has bigger dreams, and the referees get a much needed training. Mohammed Hirmoge, CCTV, Mogadishu.
Well, it's time for us to take another quick break. Coming up when we return, we take you to Mauritius, showcasing one of the most popular sports there, horse racing.
speedster, and he's very solid indeed.
David Rudisha, 1:40.91 is shown on the clock.
Welcome back. Now, it goes without saying that horse racing is not a popular sport on the African continent. But for an island in the Indian Ocean, it is the national sport. Mauritius boasts a horse racing tradition dating back to 1812. And as Celestine Caronet reports, activities in the capital, Port Louis, often give way to horse racing every Saturday.
They have that in the blood. I mean that wherever you go, people will talk about horse racing.
On Saturdays, the place to be in Mauritius is the Champ de Mars racetrack. The racecourse, located in the capital Port Louis, is the oldest in the Southern Hemisphere and operated by the Mauritius Turf Club. The numbers coming through to watch the races has seen horse racing labelled a national sport in the country.
It looks like a national sport because here we gather about 5,000 to 10,000 people each week, every Saturday. In the past years, it was more than that.
I used to live on a sugar estate, and everywhere there were horses. So since Mauritian people are young, they seen horses in their life, and it's a big attraction.
In many African countries, horse racing is elitist, exclusive to society's top cadre. But in Mauritius, you find people from different social backgrounds at the racecourse.
Racing has been democratized, so this is why you get people, any social type of people coming to the races and having a share in the horse.
People come to the races for different reasons, others whiling the day away after a busy week, for others the love of the horses. But for many people, it is betting on the horse that remains a big attraction.
The horse which is best on the form, with the odds is normally the horse's favorite. So we make it a price so that there's not much betting on that horse. We sell so that we can sell other horses. Normally, it's not necessary that the favorite horse wins. So it's a complicated job.
I remember myself being a commentator, racing commentator for the national television. I can assure you, you just like, wherever you go, you just question about horse racing, who will win this race or who will win that classic race, etc. They think that you talk to horses.
The horse racing industry contributes around $17 million in taxes annually to the Mauritian government. The industry employs over 4,000 people in different sectors while playing a role in boosting tourism. But the last couple of years, bookmakers say business is taking a hit.
From the previous budget we have gone, the tax for operating the bookmaker license has increased. So that's a big difficult for me to manage to operate as a bookmaker.
But while the bookmakers feel the pinch to the organizers, live television and online betting has taken Mauritius racing to the living rooms of South Africans and Reunion Island horse racing lovers. On the day we went to the races, Derek David, a jockey from South Africa, riding Bronco Buster, won the third race of the day.
Horse winning makes a jockey's life a lot easier. But you're out there on a small course, you're going quick, you're bumping, you're brawling. It's like being in a rugby match out there, but we're there fighting, and he won a good race, this horse.
Good horses make good jockeys, but good jockeys can't make a monkey or a donkey win a race.
For horse owners, victory is the return on investment each of them seek. One many of them hope will continue for a long time, even as the island marks 2 centuries of horse racing tradition. Celestine Caronay, CCTV, in Port Louis, Mauritius.
Right now, for our Match Point Top 5, we turn to the prestigious Kenya Open Golf Tournament, which was held a few weeks ago. 2015 marked its 47th year, having begun in 1967, with South African Hayden Porteous emerging victorious. The Kenya Open has been part of the European-based Challenge Tour since 1999 and has seen a number of international greats such as Sev Ballesteros, Ian Woosnam and Trevor Immelman write their names in the tournament's history books. So this week we take a look at the top 5 African winners of the Kenya Open. 34-year-old South African Jake ROOS won the 2014 edition at the Cairn Golf Club with a score of 278 and 10 under par. His win last year earned him a place on the Challenger Tour, where he would go on to win the Aegean Airlines Challenge Tour in Germany in July. Peter Livingstone is the only Kenyan to win the Open back in 1994. In a feat that no local golfer has been able to replicate since then, Livingstone beat out a field of experienced golfers to take top spot, marking an 8 under par 276. At number 3 is Ashley ROESTOFF of South Africa. The 51-year-old emerged winner in 2001 after a playoff was needed to separate him and Englishman Andrew Sherborne. He eventually came out on top to post an impressive 13 under par 271 at the Muthaiga Golf Club in the only Challenger Tour victory of his career. Zimbabwean MARC CAYEUX comes in at number 2 and also won the Open by way of a playoff at the 2004 edition. In the Open's second ever edition at the Cairn Country Club, where it is currently being held, the 37-year-old CAYEUX held his nerve to edge Swede Leif Westerberg to victory. Final score 10 under 270. And finally at number 1 are 2 South African golfers who won the Kenya Open in 2000 and 2011. 2008 Masters winner Trevor Immelman was virtually unknown 15 years ago with only a handful of tour wins under his belt. He posted an impressive 14 under par 270 to win at the Muthaiga Golf Club at the start of a varied career. Michael Boothma was unstoppable at the 2011 edition, leading right from the start and going on to win at the same venue by the same score as Immelman 11 years before him. Both round off our list of top African winners of the Kenya Open Golf Tournament. Well, that rounds up this week's edition of Matchpoint. Remember, you can send your feedback to us. Matchpoint@cctv.com is our email address. You can also visit our Facebook page and leave a comment there, CCTV Africa, or stay in touch on Twitter. The handle is, as always, CCTV News Africa.